Ladies and gentlemen, imagine a life without setbacks where every step forward is easy, every path straight, and every goal effortlessly achieved. At first glance, it sounds appealing, but on closer inspection, such a life lacks depth, purpose, and meaning. Growth does not emerge from ease, it comes from struggle, from adversity, from falling and then rising stronger than before. To rise after every fall begins with a critical decision to take responsibility for your life, even when the world seems unfair. It's easy to slip into victimhood, to blame circumstances, people, or fate. But the moment you claim responsibility, not blame, but responsibility, you reclaim power over your destiny. You are no longer at the mercy of external forces, you become the architect of your life. But responsibility needs direction. To navigate the chaos of setbacks, you must adopt a framework of meaning, a guiding principle or purpose that gives your struggle significance. Maybe it's your family, your dreams, your faith, or simply the pursuit of a better version of yourself. With this higher aim, even the darkest moments serve as stepping stones. Rising also requires confronting chaos. Every fall brings disorder, pain, confusion, even despair. The instinct may be to avoid it, to retreat into comfort or distraction. But avoidance breeds weakness. True courage lies in facing the chaos, organizing it, and transforming it into something meaningful. Confront your fears and you'll discover they're not as insurmountable as they seemed. And don't underestimate the power of small victories. Progress isn't made in grand leaps, but in incremental steps. Each time you choose to rise, however small the action, you strengthen your ability to face the next challenge. Over time, these small acts of courage and resilience build a fortress of strength. Look to the patterns in nature. Consider the phoenix that rises from its ashes, not as it was before, but reborn stronger, wiser, and more beautiful. This is the rhythm of life, death, and rebirth, chaos and order. Each fall is an opportunity for renewal, if you embrace it. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Circumstances will try to dictate the narrative, but only you decide whether it is a tale of defeat or triumph. To rise after every fall is to assert your agency, to declare to the world, I will not be defined by this, I will write my own ending. Taking responsibility for your setbacks is the first and most vital step toward becoming a woman who rises after every fall. Responsibility does not mean blame, it does not mean you caused the hardship or deserve the pain you are facing. It means you recognize that despite external circumstances, you are the one who must decide how to respond. This decision is both liberating and terrifying. It strips away the illusion of safety and victimhood, the comfort of pointing fingers at the world, and forces you to confront your own agency. When you stop asking, why did this happen to me, and start asking, what can I do about it? You take the first step toward reclaiming your life. It's tempting to relinquish responsibility, especially in moments of despair. Blaming others or even fate can feel easier because it absolves you of the hard work required to rise again. Yet, with this mindset, you give away your power. You allow yourself to be defined by forces outside your control, making it nearly impossible to take meaningful steps forward. Responsibility, on the other hand, is not about fixing everything immediately. It is about acknowledging the choices still available to you, however limited they may seem. It is about saying, I am here, and I can still act. That simple acknowledgement is an act of defiance against despair. Responsibility requires a degree of brutal honesty. You must examine yourself and your situation without flinching. What role, if any, did you play in your fall? What patterns in your behavior or decisions may have contributed? Even when the circumstances seem entirely external, there are often ways we unknowingly participate in perpetuating our own struggles through passivity, denial, or avoidance. This self-examination is painful because it forces you to confront your flaws, your weaknesses, and your limitations. But it is only by acknowledging them that you can begin to grow stronger. This process is not about self-flagellation, it is about learning. Every fall contains lessons if you are willing to look for them. Sometimes the lesson is practical, identifying a skill you lack or a habit that undermines your efforts. Other times the lesson is deeper, revealing something about your values, your priorities, or your resilience. Taking responsibility means committing to learn those lessons, even when they are difficult to face. And as you learn, you become less likely to repeat the same mistakes, less vulnerable to the same hardships. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a tool for transformation. Moreover, responsibility is not only personal but also relational. How you respond to your struggles affects those around you, your family, friends, colleagues, and community. A woman who takes responsibility inspires others to do the same. She becomes a source of strength and stability, a reminder that it is possible to rise even when the odds seem stacked against you. This ripple effect amplifies the impact of your actions, extending far beyond your immediate circumstances. In taking responsibility, you also redefine failure. When you view setbacks as entirely external, they appear final, like insurmountable walls blocking your path. But when you take ownership, setbacks become temporary hurdles, challenges to be overcome rather than endpoints. Responsibility reframes failure not as the opposite of success, but as part of the process. It reminds you that every successful person has failed, often many times, and what sets them apart is their willingness to keep going. This mindset doesn't mean you must bear every burden alone. Taking responsibility is not the same as rejecting help. It means you actively seek the resources, support, and guidance needed to rise again. Whether it's reaching out to a mentor, leaning on friends, or acquiring new skills, these actions are still within your sphere of responsibility. No one is entirely self-sufficient, and acknowledging that is itself an act of strength, not weakness. Ultimately, embracing responsibility shifts your focus from what you cannot control to what you can. It breaks the cycle of helplessness and creates momentum, however small, toward change. It reminds you that even in the aftermath of a fall, you are not powerless. You are the one who gets to decide what happens next. And while the path forward may be difficult and uncertain, it is also full of potential. Responsibility is not just about rising after a fall, it is about rising with intention, with clarity, and with the resolve to shape your future on your terms. Adopting a framework of meaning is essential for rising after every fall. When life feels shattered and chaotic, it is meaning that binds the pieces together and gives you the strength to move forward. Without a sense of meaning, setbacks appear random and purposeless, leaving you adrift in a sea of despair. But when you align yourself with a deeper purpose, even the most painful experiences can be transformed into stepping stones for growth. Meaning provides not just a reason to endure, but a reason to rise, to strive, and to rebuild. Finding meaning in the face of adversity requires introspection. What matters most to you? What values or principles do you hold so deeply that they remain unshaken, even in the darkest times? For some, meaning is rooted in family, a desire to protect and nurture loved ones despite personal struggles. For others, it may come from a sense of duty to their work, their community, or their faith. And for many, meaning lies in the pursuit of self-betterment, the knowledge that every challenge overcome brings you closer to becoming the person you aspire to be. Meaning does not eliminate pain, it transforms it. When setbacks are connected to a greater purpose, they cease to be merely painful and become significant. The struggle gains context, and suffering becomes a necessary part of the journey rather than an unbearable detour. Imagine climbing a mountain. The ascent is grueling, the air thin, and the path treacherous. But if you are climbing to witness a breathtaking view at the summit, the difficulty is infused with purpose. Without that vision, the same climb feels pointless and unbearable. Meaning serves as that vision, it gives you a reason to endure the climb. Establishing a framework of meaning also reshapes how you view time. When caught in the midst of a fall, it's easy to become trapped in the present moment, overwhelmed by the immediacy of your pain or failure. Meaning pulls your perspective outward, connecting the present to a larger timeline. It reminds you that today's struggles are part of a broader story, one in which tomorrow holds the potential for redemption and growth. This temporal shift is powerful. It allows you to endure because you understand that the fall is not the end of the story, it is a chapter in a much longer narrative. Meaning also acts as a compass. In the chaos of a setback, you may feel lost, uncertain of where to turn or how to proceed. A clear sense of purpose can cut through that confusion, guiding your decisions and actions. It helps you prioritize, to focus your energy on what truly matters rather than becoming paralyzed by the enormity of your challenges. Without meaning, you risk being overwhelmed by the noise of life's difficulties. With it, you find direction and clarity. This framework is not static, it evolves with you. What gives life meaning at one stage may shift as you grow, as your circumstances change, and as you encounter new challenges. This is not a sign of inconsistency, but of growth. The meaning that sustains you after one fall may be different from the one that helps you rise after the next. The key is to remain open to this evolution, to continually reflect on what matters most, and to align your actions accordingly. At times, meaning can feel elusive. In the immediate aftermath of a setback, you may struggle to see any purpose at all. In these moments, it's important to trust the process. Meaning often emerges gradually as you gain perspective and begin to piece together the lessons from your experience. It's like assembling a puzzle. At first, the individual pieces seem disconnected, but over time, a coherent picture begins to take shape. Trust that even when meaning feels out of reach, it is there, waiting to be discovered. A framework of meaning also connects you to something larger than yourself. Whether it's your family, your community, your faith, or a cause you believe in, this connection provides strength and resilience. It reminds you that your struggles are not just about you, they are part of a larger web of relationships and purposes. This broader perspective can be incredibly grounding. When you feel that your actions matter not only to you but to others or to a greater cause, it becomes easier to rise after a fall. Meaning is what allows you to transform chaos into order. It's what turns suffering into growth, failure into learning, and despair into hope. When you adopt a framework of meaning, you create a foundation that is unshakable, even in the face of life's greatest challenges. And with that foundation, you are equipped to rise time and time again. Confronting chaos with courage is an essential act for any woman who seeks to rise after every fall. Chaos, in its purest form, is the unstructured, unpredictable, and often overwhelming force that emerges when things fall apart. It is the void you face after a significant loss, a failure, or an unexpected turn in life. Chaos is frightening because it disrupts the familiar and strips away the illusions of control and certainty. Yet, it is in chaos that the seeds of transformation are planted, and rising again requires the bravery to face it head-on rather than retreating into comfort or denial. The instinct to avoid chaos is natural. In the face of pain or failure, there's a powerful urge to distract yourself, to bury your head in the sand, or to numb the discomfort with fleeting pleasures. But avoidance only strengthens chaos, allowing it to spread unchecked, consuming more of your energy and your life. It is like ignoring a fire in your home. The longer you pretend it isn't there, the more destruction it causes. Courage begins when you turn toward the chaos, acknowledging its presence and deciding to confront it. This act alone is transformative because it shifts your relationship with adversity from something to be feared to something to be faced. Facing chaos requires a deep well of inner strength, and this strength is not something you must possess fully before you begin. In fact, courage often emerges in the act of confronting chaos itself. Each step you take toward grappling with the unknown builds your resilience. It is a process of proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable of withstanding the storm. Courage, in this sense, is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. It is the decision to step forward into the darkness, trusting in your ability to navigate through it. When you confront chaos, you begin to impose order upon it. Chaos may appear boundless and all-consuming, but it is not infinite. It has edges, limits, and patterns that can be understood and managed when you approach it with clarity and determination. This process often starts small. It might mean addressing one aspect of the chaos, a single task, a single problem, or a single emotion, rather than trying to tackle everything at once. Over time, these small victories accumulate, and the once overwhelming chaos becomes manageable. Confronting chaos also requires honesty. You must be willing to look at the raw, unfiltered truth of your situation, no matter how painful or uncomfortable it may be. Denial is seductive because it shields you from immediate discomfort, but it also prevents you from making progress. Courage means asking the hard questions: what went wrong? What is within my power to change? What do I need to let go of? The answers to these questions may not be easy, but they are essential for moving forward. At the heart of courage is a willingness to embrace vulnerability. When you confront chaos, you expose yourself to uncertainty and risk. There is no guarantee of success, and the path forward may involve setbacks and further difficulties. But vulnerability is not weakness, it is a testament to your strength. To face chaos is to say, I am willing to try, Even if I might fail, it is this willingness that sets the stage for growth, as it allows you to learn, adapt, and ultimately rise stronger. Chaos is also an opportunity for creativity. When the structures of your life have been dismantled, you are given the chance to rebuild, this time with greater intention and awareness. Confronting chaos means not only restoring what was lost, but reimagining what is possible. It is a chance to redefine your goals, values, and priorities to create a life that aligns more closely with your authentic self. This process is both daunting and liberating. It requires courage to let go of what no longer serves you and to embrace the uncertainty of something new. The courage to face chaos often inspires others as well. When you confront your challenges openly and with determination, you demonstrate to those around you that it is possible to rise even in the face of overwhelming adversity. Your courage becomes a beacon, encouraging others to confront their own struggles. This ripple effect magnifies the impact of your actions, creating a network of resilience and strength that extends far beyond yourself. Ultimately, confronting chaos with courage is not a single act, but a continual process. Life is filled with moments of disorder, and each one requires a renewed commitment to face it. Yet, with each confrontation, you grow stronger, wiser, and more equipped to handle what comes next. Chaos, for all its terror, is also a crucible in which transformation occurs. It is the space where you shed what is no longer needed, discover your true strength, and forge a path forward. Courage is the key to navigating this space, and through it you rise not in spite of the chaos, but because of it. Strength emerges in incremental growth, not from sudden, dramatic transformations. After a fall, it is easy to long for an immediate resolution, a quick leap from despair to triumph. However, true strength is built not in a single moment, but through consistent, small actions taken over time. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory that contributes to your eventual rise. It is this steady accumulation of effort that fortifies your resilience and transforms your ability to face life's challenges. When you fall, the world often feels overwhelming. The enormity of your struggles can paralyze you, making the path forward seem insurmountable. In these moments, the key to progress is to focus on what is immediately within your control. Instead of trying to solve everything at once, break your challenges into smaller, manageable tasks. These small steps may seem insignificant, but they are the foundation of growth. Each time you accomplish one, you prove to yourself that progress is possible, that you are not defeated, and that you are capable of moving forward. The beauty of incremental growth lies in its simplicity. It does not demand perfection or immediate results. It acknowledges that recovery, rebuilding, and rising again are processes that take time. This perspective is liberating because it allows you to let go of the unrealistic expectation that you must have everything figured out right away. Instead, you focus on what you can do today, one step, one decision, one action. Over time, these small efforts compound, creating a momentum that carries you forward even when the journey feels slow. Each step forward also builds confidence. After a fall, it's natural to question your abilities, to doubt whether you are capable of rising again. But with every small act of progress, you rebuild your sense of competence. Whether it's completing a task, learning a new skill, or simply showing up for yourself despite the difficulties, these actions remind you of your strength. Confidence is not something you are given, it is something you earn through effort and persistence. And with each small victory, you reclaim a part of your belief in yourself. Incremental growth also teaches patience. In a world that often celebrates quick fixes and instant success, the slow, deliberate process of rebuilding can feel frustrating. But true strength comes from enduring and persisting even when the results are not immediate. Patience allows you to stay committed to the process, to trust that your efforts will pay off in time. It shifts your focus from the outcome to the journey itself, helping you appreciate the progress you are making, however small it may seem. Another crucial aspect of incremental growth is its ability to create stability. When life feels chaotic and uncertain, small, consistent actions provide a sense of structure and order. They ground you, giving you something to hold on to as you navigate the aftermath of a fall. This stability is not just practical, but also emotional. It reminds you that even in the face of adversity, you have the power to create positive change in your life. The process of incremental growth is also deeply empowering because it places the power to rise within your hands. You may not be able to change the circumstances that led to your fall, but you can control how you respond. Each small step forward is an act of agency, a declaration that you are not defined by your setbacks. It is a way of reclaiming your narrative, of proving to yourself and the world that you are capable of overcoming whatever challenges you face. Importantly, incremental growth is not linear. There will be setbacks, moments when it feels like you are moving backward instead of forward. These moments are not failures, they are part of the process. What matters is your willingness to keep going, to pick yourself up and take the next step, no matter how small. Over time, these moments of perseverance become the true measure of your strength. Strength built incrementally is lasting and unshakable. It is not dependent on fleeting bursts of motivation or external validation. It is the quiet, steady strength that comes from showing up for yourself every day, from doing the hard work even when it feels tedious or unglamorous. This kind of strength cannot be taken from you because it is rooted in the effort and discipline you have cultivated over time. Through incremental growth, you learn not only to rise but also to sustain your progress. The habits, skills, and resilience you develop become part of who you are, equipping you to face future challenges with greater confidence and grace. This is the power of small steps. They create a foundation of strength that enables you to rise again and again, no matter how many times you fall. Learning from the patterns of nature reveals profound lessons about resilience and renewal. Nature is an enduring teacher, constantly showing us that destruction and rebirth are not only inevitable but interconnected. Just as a forest regrows after a fire, stronger and more vibrant than before, so too can you rise after a fall, transformed by the experience. Understanding and embracing these natural rhythms allows you to see setbacks not as the end, but as the fertile ground for new beginnings.
When you observe nature, you see cycles everywhere. Day follows night, spring follows winter, and calm often follows the storm. These patterns are not random, they are evidence of a deeper order. Even in chaos, there is an underlying rhythm that ensures renewal. After every fall, nature does not despair. It regenerates. A tree that loses its leaves in autumn does not resist the change. It accepts the cycle, conserving energy through winter and bursting into life when spring arrives. In the same way, you must learn to accept the natural ebb and flow of life. Periods of loss or struggle are not permanent. They are part of the process that leads to growth. Consider the phoenix, a mythical symbol inspired by natural cycles. The phoenix burns to ashes and is reborn, more magnificent than before. This imagery resonates because it mirrors what happens in real life. From the ashes of destruction comes the potential for something even greater. The process is not easy or painless, and it is necessary. When you fall, you have the opportunity to shed what no longer serves you and to rebuild from a place of deeper understanding. Like the phoenix, you can emerge from your struggles with a renewed sense of purpose and strength. Nature also teaches us patience. The growth of a tree or the healing of a scar takes time. There is no rushing the process. It unfolds at its own pace. After a fall, it is tempting to want immediate results, to skip the hard work of healing and rebuilding. But just as you cannot force a flower to bloom before it is ready, you cannot rush your own recovery. Nature reminds us that growth is slow and steady. Trust the process, even when the progress feels invisible. Beneath the surface, where you cannot see it, your roots are growing stronger. Another lesson from nature is adaptability. Animals, plants, and ecosystems survive because they adapt to their circumstances. A river does not stop flowing when it encounters a rock. It finds a way around or carves a new path. Similarly, you must learn to adapt when life doesn't go as planned. The ability to pivot, to find new solutions, and to embrace change is crucial for rising after a fall. When you stop resisting and start adapting, you harness the same resilience that allows life to thrive in the harshest environments. Resilience in nature is not just about survival, it is about flourishing in the aftermath of adversity. After a wildfire, the nutrients released into the soil create the conditions for a healthier, more diverse forest to emerge. This is a powerful reminder that setbacks can enrich your life if you allow them to. The experiences that challenge you most deeply often teach you the most profound lessons. They give you the tools to become more resilient, compassionate, and self-aware. The pain of the fall becomes the catalyst for growth. Nature also demonstrates the importance of interdependence. A forest thrives not because of the strength of a single tree, but because of the connections between them. Their roots intertwine and they share resources. Similarly, your strength is bolstered by the relationships and support systems you cultivate. After a fall, leaning on others for help is not a sign of weakness. It is part of the natural order. Just as a lone plant struggles in barren soil, isolation makes it harder to rise. By connecting with others, you create a network of resilience that sustains you through difficult times. Finally, nature teaches the value of persistence. Even in the harshest conditions, life finds a way to endure and grow. A plant will push through concrete, and a river will carve through rock over centuries. This tenacity is a reminder that no matter how insurmountable your challenges may seem, there is always a way forward. Rising after a fall requires this kind of determination, the belief that you can and will find a way, no matter how difficult it may seem. By looking to nature, you are reminded of your own capacity for renewal. The same forces that drive the cycles of growth and transformation in the natural world are at work within you. Embracing these patterns allows you to rise with the confidence that, like nature, you are not defeated by setbacks. Instead, you are continually evolving, stronger and more resilient with each turn of the cycle. The courage to change course is a powerful tool that allows you to rise after every fall. Change, while often intimidating, is not something to be feared. It is a necessary force in life that creates the conditions for growth, renewal, and transformation. When faced with setbacks, the willingness to adapt and pivot can be the very thing that propels you forward. Stubbornly holding on to the old ways, the old plans, or the old beliefs will only keep you stuck in the same place. It is through change that you can break free from the chains of past limitations and begin anew. The first step in embracing change is recognizing that you are not bound by your past. Your failures, mistakes, and even the choices that led to your fall do not define who you are or who you can become. Change gives you the freedom to create a new path, to rewrite your narrative, and to redefine your purpose. It is often in the darkest moments of struggle that you find the clarity and insight to realize that you have the power to choose a different direction. You are not stuck in the same old cycle unless you choose to be. By embracing change, you acknowledge that your past does not dictate your future. You are the author of your own story. In many ways, change is the antidote to stagnation. When life feels like it is at a standstill after a fall, change injects vitality and possibility back into your experience. It opens up new opportunities, introduces fresh perspectives, and creates the room needed for reinvention. When you feel that the weight of failure is too much to bear, it is through change that you can find a way to rise from the ashes. much like a phoenix reborn from the fire. Change allows you to see failure not as an end point, but as a beginning, a chance to pivot and move towards something better, something that aligns more closely with who you are becoming. Embracing change also requires the humility to acknowledge that you do not have all the answers. It takes courage to admit that what you once believed or the path you once took may no longer serve you. This is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It requires you to set aside your ego and accept that growth often involves shedding old ideas, beliefs, and behaviors that no longer align with your current circumstances or goals. It is the willingness to evolve that makes you resilient. By letting go of what no longer fits, you create space for new opportunities and a clearer vision for what comes next. The courage to change also involves a deep trust in yourself. When life forces you to change direction, it can feel uncertain and disorienting. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, and it is easy to question your ability to navigate through uncharted waters. But trust in yourself is the anchor that holds you steady when the winds of change blow strong. When you trust yourself, you have the confidence to take that first step, even when the future seems unclear. It is through these small, brave acts of change that you begin to gather momentum, building confidence in your ability to steer your life in a new direction. Moreover, change often requires you to confront your own fears and doubts. It is natural to resist change because of the discomfort it brings. You may worry about failure, rejection, or the possibility that the new path you choose will not lead to success. These fears are real, but they should not paralyze you. The courage to change course involves pushing through these fears and stepping forward into the unknown, trusting that even if the outcome is uncertain, the act of change itself will lead you to growth. Fear may never fully dissipate, but it does not need to control you. It can coexist with the courage to take action, to make bold decisions, and to follow your intuition toward a new horizon. The courage to change also involves resilience in the face of setbacks. Change does not guarantee smooth sailing. It is often accompanied by obstacles and challenges that test your resolve. The ability to stay the course, even when things do not unfold as expected, is what defines true strength. It is not about getting everything right the first time or avoiding failure altogether. It is about learning from each misstep and using it as a stepping stone toward the next phase of your journey. When you are willing to adjust your course, to learn from your mistakes, and to keep moving forward, you develop a resilience that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Change, when embraced with an open heart and a clear mind, becomes a process of continual growth and self-discovery. Ultimately, the courage to change course is what allows you to transcend the pain of a fall. Life will never be a linear path, and setbacks are inevitable. But when you learn to embrace change, to adapt, and to move with the flow of life, you transform challenges into opportunities. The ability to pivot, to evolve, and to redefine your direction is not just a tool for survival, but for thriving. Change does not have to be feared. It can be the very thing that sets you free, that allows you to rise again, stronger and more capable than before. In conclusion, the journey of a woman who rises after every fall is one of unwavering resilience, courage, and continual growth. It is not defined by the number of times she stumbles, but by her ability to stand again, stronger and more determined each time. From embracing the chaos that life inevitably brings, to recognizing that even small steps forward are significant, she learns that growth comes through persistence and adaptation. The patterns of nature teach her that setbacks are not permanent, but rather part of a larger process of renewal and transformation. By confronting challenges head-on, embracing change, and trusting in her own capacity for resilience, she redefines her path and creates the life she desires. This journey is not easy, nor is it always clear. But it is through the courage to face adversity, the strength to change course when needed, and the commitment to rise again, that a woman not only survives, but thrives. Each fall is an opportunity to rebuild, to reinvent, and to emerge more empowered than before. Through every challenge, she discovers more about her inner strength, and in the end, she proves that no matter how many times she falls, she will always rise, more resilient, more wise, and more unstoppable.